Hello, everybody. Hey, hey, hey. Woohoo. Yabba dabba doo. And hello to you. All right. Excitable today. It's Monday, July 15th, 2024, 5:10 p.m. California time. And it's Monday. So like, subscribe, leave a message, share this, or send other people my way who like this kind of stuff. Gonna do a little bit different episode during my oddball run here. Um, Quick shout out to old Sarge Collects. He replied, I was talking about how I like them Super Bubble cards that he had, and if he ever lets them go, he'll let me know. Uh, Aberdalo 1294 left a comment. A baseball diver Dave commented that he liked the little Wheaties posters, and that this, he guessed what it was, and he says hi to the missus, and I'll let her know, and I'm sure she'll say hi back to you. So thank you, Diver Dave. And so a couple other things, folks, if you wouldn't mind. Obviously not a lot of people got plenty of views on the one I did 3 episodes ago, but nobody's playing along, I guess. So there you go. And check out the Rostin Perina episode if you guys wouldn't mind. And the one episode that video that could use a little support would be the Houston Astros police cards. I only got 13 views on that. The Kool-Aid 1986 Kool-Aid Police Houston Astros set. It's just got a beautiful Nolan Ryan card in there. You guys should check that out. So anyways, alright. Thank you for watching Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. Today what I'm going to do is a oddball, kind of oddball set. But it's going to be what we call for Monday. Let's go ahead and start doing something new called Minor League Monday. So I'm going to show you some of the minor league and or below the top level cards. So what does that mean? Obviously the minor leagues and or like college, you know, like some of my college stuff. And so hopefully every Monday we'll get like a little set out, and that could be baseball, hockey, basketball, and football. You're gonna even women's like women's basketball and stuff like that. So got some cool stuff to show you. I'm gonna start today back in my home, from back in Albuquerque, New Mexico, back when I was a little kid. And I got a few things to show you. Now, I talked about how in the past I've never really sold a card. That may not be 100% true. I'm not 100% sure. Back when I was a kid and I was getting into baseball cards, so this was probably 86 or something, 85, 86, somewhere around there. We used to go to the flea market at the state fairgrounds in Albuquerque. And they have, you know, typical flea market. They would have, you know, tables and setups, and they always had like 1 or 2 dudes that were selling cards. And so I'd go over there and dream about these different cards that I wanted: Andre Dawson, Cubs, packs, stuff like that. And so one time I only had a few bucks on me, and I wanted something that was like $10. And obviously the guy wasn't going to take that big of a discount. So I went around, looked around, and I found like a stack of like 6 or 7 cards. And they were of my Albuquerque Dukes, older cards. So I bought those for like $1 and got like 6 or 7 of them. Went back to the guy's card table and showed him what I got, and he offered me, like, literally, he either gave me like $10 or something for them, because I guess they were rare to him or something, or he gave me a straight trade. So I don't know. So if I did, I may have sold those cards, but I believe I just traded for what it is that I wanted. And so here is an example. I believe these are pretty similar to the ones that I traded with that guy. Now these ones are from 1980 official minor league photo fact card, and these were from TCMA, and so Amlock, New York. So I guess back in the day, TCMA must have did minor league cards. So for the Albuquerque Dukes set, I've got card 13 and 14, and like I said, these are from 1980. And so Pepino Man, I did tag him in one of my videos showing those Canadian club cards because they wanted to see those. And but he's a big Dodgers fan, I think, and he works for the Dodgers, I believe. And so the Albuquerque Dukes always were a Dodgers farm team back in the day. Isotopes were for a while, the new team in Albuquerque. So the Dukes were there for who knows how many years, like decades. Couldn't get a new stadium built because the old one sucked. And yeah, it's a pretty view, but it was a sucky stadium, like pretty bad. Anyhow, so they left and they went to Calgary. So I believe it was Calgary, or maybe Portland. I can't remember. And then they ended up going to Calgary. It's something like that. But nevertheless, so maybe he'll have interest in these, or any of you Dodgers fans. So these are really bad cards. Like this could have been in a Commenting Collector's Trashy Cards video. Now I've just saved them because I've had these for 40 years probably. You know, however many. I got these in the 80s, let's just say that. And I don't remember exactly where I got these from. Maybe these were from that bunch of cards that I sold that guy or traded with that guy. Maybe these are ones he didn't want. So anyways, there's Gary Weiss, and that's pretty thick card stock. So obviously with the red, you're going to see plenty of chipping, and it's, you know, it's got surface issues. But it's a pretty solid card from that era, you know. And that back kind of reminds me of the Big League Chew ones. So there's Gary Weiss, card 13, Albuquerque Dukes, Pacific Coast League, AAA at the time. When they left, I either went to Portland or Calgary or something because they couldn't get a new stadium. Major League Baseball really wanted a team in Albuquerque, a AAA team, because to them it was always one of their better AAA cities. And so they helped encourage and get the vote so that they can get a new stadium built or remodeled. The only thing they kept was the concrete tunnels that would go from the dugout to the, what do you call it, the clubhouse, and I think like the play area, you know, like the field. Like they didn't keep the grass or anything, but they kept the footprint and just built a brand new stadium around that little tunnel. So it's a beautiful stadium. They were the Marlins farm team for a while, and then they became the Dodgers farm team again, and then the Dodgers bought like Oklahoma City or one of those teams, and they moved their, you know, they switched over to them as their farm team, and then the the Isotopes became the Rockies, and that's where they're at now, unfortunately for Colorado Springs. But anyways, so there you go. That's an old school TCMA Minor League Monday, the first card that we've showed for Minor League Monday, Gary Weiss. And so I've heard the name before. Just horrible uniforms. A lot of people like them still. You'll see dudes rocking around Albuquerque still wearing Duke stuff. Like the yellow ones aren't too bad. Kind of the state flag colors with like the Zia, but the stadium was so ugly, people. I got some funny stories about that stadium though, but I'm not going to go into it in this video because I'm already dragging along. Alright, and then next one, people, look at this. Teddy Martinez, infielder for the Albuquerque Dukes. Not a pretty card. And I don't know if that's Duke Stadium in the background there. I think so because they had the different colors like turquoise, red, and then yellow. They were those little seats that would fold down and then up, but they were rounded. One time I went there with an ex, and her kid got a. She tried to sit in the seat, and she got stuck in the seat, and just freaked out. I was like 4 years old. It the kid was scared, but it was pretty funny. That's one of the stories. But it used to get cold there. I don't know why it was always freezing cold at that stadium. Now they built a new stadium around it, and it's never as cold. It's weird. I don't know if it's just the shape works out that way. But there's Teddy Martinez, and I like the backs. The backs are kind of cool. So I'm sure you could pick these sets up. Probably relatively. I don't know how easy, but somebody's probably selling them. And when you go back and watch one of my videos where I was walking through the local card shop in Albuquerque, the one on Eubank, I think you can even see it in my thumbnail. I'm kind of pointing down at the, what do you call it, into one of the cases. And there's a couple Dukes cards in there, and you can see Mike Piazza as one of those cards, and it kind of resembled this card a little bit. Talking about the Rolling Stones are going to be here just down the street, and not tomorrow but Wednesday night here at Levi's Stadium where the 49ers play. We went last time they were there, and the Rolling Stones were mad because the town, Santa Clara where we live, doesn't let them play late, but I guess they finally made some exceptions for like 18 times a year or something like that. Bands can play past the curfew because normally the curfew was like 10:30. The Stones usually would play till like 11:30, and so they made a big fuss about it, and it was a big ordeal because a dispute over the rent between the 49ers and the city. So anyways, there you go, Albuquerque Dukes, Teddy Martinez. So now I spent a lot of time talking about that. It could be its own episode. But we're going to move on to 1988. So if you remember, this is the same year that I met Bob Gibson, if you've watched my episodes. So sometime that summer, the Legends for Lobos came through and played at Albuquerque Sports Stadium, is what it was called. And so obviously I was going to games back then. I think I was just getting into high school. And so these are from ProCards, Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania not having a good week in the news. All right, but just very cheap checklist on the back here. So as you can see, there's some pretty well-known names in there. But no Hall of Famers that I could see, but some people, if you're from that era, late 80s going into the 90s, some of these names you've seen on Major League Baseball. All right, so it's a team set. This might have been a giveaway at one of the games, or because I collected baseball cards at the time. That's just a couple years into me really getting going. I may have just bought this set my own self at the team shop. So they're cool cards. They're dated cards. One of these cards, I think, like the last one's like a little miscut. It's a little wider than the other one, so it feels weird in your hands to hold these. They're cool cards. They're pretty flimsy. They're not like those TCMA ones, but they're kind of standard for the era, I think. This other card I have to show you, I guess they were basically the standard for any of the minor leagues if they used this company that year. So there's Steve Garcia. He has a kind of reminds you of the Rostin Perina MSA cards. So 1988 ProCards statistics compiled by How News Bureau in Boston. So don't know if Steve ever made it. Probably not. And not or Hayward, California. That's right up here. My good friend, her sister lives up there in Hayward. She's sort of a friend, but have never seen her since I've been here. All right, then you got Bill Brennan. So pitcher. So there you go. You can see the Dukes just had typical AAA wall on the back there, just kind of wood with all the advertising on it. And then you can see right here, that was like crushed lava, or it was lava rocks, like giant lava rocks behind the fence. And then back over here, people could come in to the stadium and went in their car, and they had like 10 spots where people could park their cars and watch the game, like they were at a drive-in movie, and watch the game. And they used to always have to like stop the game and for the announcer to get on there for have somebody shut off their lights, because their lights were like blinding the batter and all that. And then you can see the Sandia Mountains in the background there. It's a beautiful setting. All right. Oops. Then Brett Storm. He's a familiar name, but it could just be to me. He's a pitching coach. Yeah, he played for the Mets in 72. So he played from like 72 to 77. Maybe seen him on a card before. Now here's a guy that I thought this card was going to be a big deal, because early on he was supposed to be a big deal, a chase kind of player when he went up. Mike Devereaux played for a little while in the majors. Didn't pan out like as a superstar, but in Dukes hats. All right, Mike Devereaux. So look at that. It's hard to believe Albuquerque's probably smaller than San Antonio, but it was a AAA team. San Antonio looks to be a AA team, so I guess baseball wasn't a big deal in San Antonio. Same with El Paso, but El Paso's not that much bigger population. Like city-wise, it's bigger, but then when you factor in all of Albuquerque's suburbs, it's probably bigger. Mike Sharperson, he was also kind of a one that you were keeping your eyes on. Second baseman. Can't remember what year. I think it was 90 or 91. 92 or 93, somewhere in there. They had the AAA All-Star game in Albuquerque, and I have like the little card set thing that came with that. But it's not loose cards like this, it's like an uncut sheet. Alright, let's get going, people. Von Joshua, batting coach. Oakland, there you go. Wonder if he's still around. Alright, here you go, folks. So here's a name y'all should know. There he is, Mariano Duncan. So he was a mainstay for the Dodgers, I believe, there for a while. Shortstop Mariano Duncan. So Mr. Pepino, man, did you ever see these cards before? I know you're probably not into minor league cards, but that's pretty cool. Used to get all kinds of Dodgers giveaways at the Dukes games, which I'd either have to give to my friends or something, because I'm a Cubs fan and I don't like the Dodgers at the time, you know. Tracy Woodson, he was another name. Familiar. Gilberto Reyes. So let's see where he hails from. Gilberto. Long time playing in the minors there. So he is from Dominican Republic, so there you go. Don't know if Gilberto ever made it out of the minors for any amount of time. Jose Gonzalez. Some centering issues on these ones. Pretty, you know, they're okay cards for minor leagues. They're better now, but Dominican Republic. So early on there in the 80s, they're definitely reaching into old Dominican Republic. And now here's a special card. He was a big chase when he was first coming up, the Chris Gwynn. and that is Tony Gwynn's brother. Now, we met Tony Gwynn Jr. at the Padres game back like in 2016. We went, I believe, and Tony Gwynn Jr. was there. Just came off of talking with Fox Sports Net, and then he signed my ticket stubs, my wife's, her parents, and the extras. He just kept signing and signing. Super cool dude, and we were talking about his uncle Chris Gwynn and how he played with the Dukes and all that. So that was neat. Christopher Carlton Gwynn. Didn't really pan out, but good family name there. And Tony Gwynn Jr. was super nice guy, super nice. So thank you, Tony Gwynn Jr. John Gibbons. Tony Arnold. Boy, how the Secret Service let that stuff happen. Just showing video of that dude crawling along the ceiling on that building. Ray Serrage. Wow, a lot of moving around there for Raymond. Let's give Raymond a little bit more time in the limelight, folks. Played a lot of years, a lot of time, and living the old minor league dream. Mike Hartley, he was I think he made it up for a while. Pitcher. Look at all these people from California. Tim Cruz. All right. Spent some time down in El Paso, it looks like. Shaney Dugas. Is that an Irish name? Louisiana. Ooh, boy. It's hard to believe, man. These guys were born in like 1958. How much time has passed, people, since this? Mike Ramsey. Harlem, Georgia. I declare. All right. George Hinshaw. The Dukes had a pretty good amount of success in the minor leagues. And AAA, they won some championships. And I believe Tony Lasorda actually managed them for a while. Before he went up to the Dodgers. So he would come around a lot. Tony Lasorda would come down to Albuquerque. He even came down after they became the Isotopes. Well, they didn't become the Isotopes after the Isotopes started. John Debuse. Check out the 80s glasses, folks. Hey, there we go, boy from Illinois. Wow, what a long day it was today, folks. Pretty uneventful. Terry Collins. Manager, there we go. So Terry Collins is the manager from Michigan. All right, folks, moving right along. Some of these cards are a little off color too. Bill Kruger. I wonder if he has any relation to the Krugers we grew up with at school. Doesn't look like it from Oregon there. Guess I should be using this, right? Oregon. All right. Lenny Courier. He's a trainer, so yeah, let's give the trainer a little time in the limelight. My wife actually got her first degree to be a trainer. So there we go. He worked in Dominican and all that, so Wonder how many of these guys are still alive. Chuck Hensley, pitcher. Now, see, they must do the they must just printed the minor leagues up as like complete sets, and then just broke them out. So who knows? Maybe they had a set of thousands of cards, and you'll see why. So in a minute. So here's one that's a little off color. Like the gold ink was running low on this one, maybe. It's a little lighter. Hector Heredia, I remember him. From Sonora, Mexico. Stan Kiles. There you go. From Chi-Town, Chicago. All right. Stanley Kiles. And to end it off for the Dukes, Dennis Burt. Pitcher for the Albuquerque Dukes. So all these guys with all their dreams made it at least that far. So once again, 1988 Pacific Coast League Albuquerque Dukes team set. Albuquerque Dukes, 1980. And I recently picked this one up. And this is the Calgary Cannons. So I believe what happened was the Calgary Cannons after Albuquerque. So I think the Dukes left Albuquerque, went to Portland. And then the Calgary Cannons, like a couple years later, because they couldn't get a stadium in Calgary, they're the team that moved back to Albuquerque and became the Isotopes. I believe that's what happened. And as you can see here, it's a Calgary Cannons card with the same exact card stock and all that. I know I didn't pay that because that's obviously not a 1972 card. And so you can see $7.95. So they must have just did those sets that way. It's 1988 as well. I'm not sure what this is all about. Something Calgary Police Service, so maybe that's a Canadian thing. And let's take a look at one of these cards to see the back. So I guess I should take it out of this. I don't know why it's in here. These cards are pretty flimsy though, so not that it's going to be worth anything. So Mike Schooler, Calgary. And so I guess this is I guess if you wanted to, you could put together a complete set of AAA cards from ProCards there. So I guess we'll just add him onto the list of cards. So there it is, folks. Some Albuquerque Dukes, a Calgary Cannon, and that is my first episode of Minor League Monday. So keep your eyes peeled on Mondays, and we'll try to do more of this stuff here on Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I had a lot of fun at Dukes games, but the Isotopes is just way better. Alright, thanks everybody. See ya.